Is calories in, calories out all there is to this? We're doing a Seco deep dive today, folks. Also, a level 16 wattage PR. Day 1042, yeah. We all know that energy balance is the ultimate arbiter when it comes to weight gain or loss. Thermodynamics is inviolate. What I often observe, however, is that many young lifters, gurus, and fitness influencers just stop right there with the assumption that Seco, calories in, calories out, provides a complete, actionable picture of how the energy balance thing works, and that's simply not the case. It's like saying your weapon is zeroed because you hit the paper at 25 meters. You aren't wildly off target, but you're not exactly Doc Holliday either. Thing is, folks, with a simplified view of just maintain a deficit or just maintain a surplus, we almost flagrantly disregard the specific utilization of various macronutrients. Now, I'm not insulting anyone's intelligence here, but let's briefly review what each of our macros do. Starting with protein at 4 kilocalories a gram, we utilize protein for structure. It's about 17% of our body, second only to water. Enzymes, repair, things of this nature. It's 4 kilocalories of energy per gram, but not immediately available as such. Next, looking at fats, 9 kilocalories a gram. They're structural as well, lipid membranes, the myelin sheath of our nerves, etc. Cholesterol, hormones, but mostly fats are a solid state battery, if you will. It's stored energy in solid, densely packed anhydrous form in our adipose tissue. And finally, carbohydrates, again at 4 kilocalories a gram, similar to protein. Carbohydrates are generally plug-and-play energy in various forms, with digestion akin to a step-down transformer to turn the external energy feed into household, quote-unquote, glucose. And everything in your house is powered by that glucose. In fact, that's where this conversation is going, folks. The issue with a simplistic view of it's all just calories disregards the fact that calories reflects a unit of heat energy, not necessarily the energy utilization in the living organism. An easy way to frame this is to think of the term calories more like currency. You can have 100 US dollars, 400 quarters, 10,000 pennies, write a check for $100, have $100 worth of a stock or a crypto, or charge $100 worth of something on a credit card. All of those things represent $100 in terms of currency. The utility of each will vary wildly depending on what you need the money for. Want to rent a car with 400 quarters? You'll get laughed out of enterprise. You can buy $100 of groceries with it though. Go to Safeway with $100 worth of Safeway stock, and again, no dice. It's all worth the same, but different macros spend differently. Where I hope this conversation leads to is to get you to think of how many of which calories you need to support your specific goals. We all know, for instance, that protein supports muscle repair, but did you know that a higher protein intake, more protein with respect to total calories, supports lean mass retention in a caloric deficit when you're dieting? Or for instance, we know endurance athletes pound carbs for energy, but did you know that increased carbohydrate utilization also happens during healthy pregnancies, especially as the child's demands increase in the third trimester just prior to birth? How about recovery from surgery? Again, increased carbohydrate consumption, not more calories, but specifically carbohydrates prior to and following surgery speeds up recovery and stress management. Or fats. We all think that for sustained activity we need more carbohydrates and or more calories, but bioenergetics demonstrates that after a certain duration, increased fatty acid oxidation has to occur to sustain activity because glycolysis, generating ATP from carbohydrates, can't produce sustained energy fast enough. There's also evidence to suggest that a greater constituent fat or fat carb supply for this kind of athlete may be superior for repeat performance, not to mention the possible inflammation resolution from PUFA, polyunsaturated fat, consumption post-exercise. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Whatever your net worth, when it comes to spending some of that currency in exchange for goods and or services, the type of currency you spend is dictated by the specific goods, the venue, and or the service you seek to have rendered. A calorie may be a calorie, may be a calorie, just like 10,000 pennies or a $100 written check is $100, but also like 10,000 pennies versus a $100 written check versus $100, a calorie of a carb versus a calorie of a fat versus a calorie of a protein can spend significantly differently depending on the situation you need to spend them in. Total calories in aggregate is going to be what takes you up or down on the scale. Where specifically that up or down arrow goes is going to be determined by the constituent breakdown of the macronutrient input in those calories. CICO is Dieting 101, folks. If that's sufficient for you to be successful, awesome. If you're still struggling, however, an overly simplistic approach to your nutrition may be part of the reason why. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, Discord link in the description. Consistency is a superpower. Stay in the fight, and thanks for watching.